Hi, welcome back to Agile Visualization. In our first course, we learned how to create a team space where everyone could come together and collaborate. Then in our second course, we learned how to visualize our work and maintain alignment as a team. In this course, we're going to focus on these three things. We're going to learn how to identify and address problems along the way, how to use data and insights to adjust our work and make smart decisions, and how to create feedback loops that keep both customer and team insights at the heart of continuous improvement. So let's get started. If you haven't already, you'll want to open up the team space that we've been working on in our previous courses. Go ahead and focus in on the team board section, and then open up the iteration planning, stand-up, and reflection board. Great. So now that we're in the board, it should look familiar to you. We spent a lot of time in our last lesson discussing this iteration planning section. In this course, we're going to dive deeper into the stand-up and reflection sections. So let's navigate over here to the stand-up section and we'll zoom in Lucid. Perfect. Now, a lot of Agile frameworks consist of some form of stand-up. And a stand-up is important because it allows the team to come together to discuss the work that they're working on, but also to discuss any impediments or blockers that might be preventing the work from moving forward. So in Lucid, if we were to do this, we would need to make sure that we've already invited everyone to the board and that they're all here. Next, we'll want to designate a facilitator to lead us through the stand-up. Now, unless your team's super agile, you might be able to do this on the fly, but I know for myself, I normally have to do this ahead of time, so I would have already gone in and selected Ashton to be our facilitator. And then it would have been Ashton's responsibility to incorporate an icebreaker. Now, icebreakers are super important because they allow the team to come together and have those interactions that you would have in person, but to have it remotely. And then it also gets the mind prepped and primed, ready to discuss the work as we move forward. So, in order to add a visual activity, I've already added one here to the template for you, but if you wanted to add your own, you would just need to navigate over here to the Visual Activities button, select it, and then use these categories to find a visual activity or simply scroll down and find the one that's most interesting to you. Click the Add to Board button and you'll be able to add it here to this frame. Now the one I selected for us is the bucket list activity. And let me show you what that looks like. Before you jump in, you can get everyone aligned and into the activity at the same time by clicking this button, Start Activity for Everyone. And if we were using visual activities for another situation where maybe we needed a little more confidentiality so that people could really open up and express themselves, we could click on this too for anonymous responses. But in this case, we want to know who everybody is and what they're sharing and what their bucket list items are going to be. So we're just going to click Start. All right, now that we're in here, we're able to drag and drop our different bucket list items. So I'm going to move this down there because I've done that in real life. I haven't seen the Northern Lights and I'd love to do that, and I would love to drive a supercar. So you can just drag and drop all of these over. When you're all done, you'll click Submit Your Response and you'll see this start to populate with numbers as more team members complete the activity. Then you can click on that button, view the results, and have a fun discussion with your team as you look at one another's responses. When you're ready, return to the board, and then you're ready to move on to the capacity modeler and timeline. Now, we've already discussed this section a little bit in iteration planning, but I want to show you how amazing it is for stand-up as well. If we navigate to the dynamic table, the first thing you'll notice is how easy it is to see the status of everyone's projects and tasks. If we look at this, we'll see that it's separated by different sections, so blocked, to do, in progress, and done, as well as our team members across the top. Now, inside of these, we have our Lucid Cards that we brought down from iteration planning. But the cool thing with them is that as we move them across these sections, we're automatically updating those statuses in Jira. So in other words, it's going to bi-directionally sync with anything that we do here. So let me show you what I mean. Up here, we can see that Morgan has a task that's blocked. This is a great opportunity for our team to come together and discuss how we can move this work forward. Maybe it's as simple as assigning it to someone else. So let's drag this down and assign it to Tori. As you can see, it now has the status of to do, and this little pinwheel here means that it's currently syncing with Jira. So if we were to open up this task in Jira, we'd be able to see that it's now assigned to Tori, and that the status has changed from block to do. The other thing that's great is as we update these cards along this dynamic table, we're also able to see updates up here in the progress bar. So let's move this back to blocked. And you can see that it's now assigned to Morgan Skidmore again, and that it is blocked up here. The cool thing with the progress bar is you can go in, click the edit button, and then adjust how this looks. So we can move blocked to the very end so we can focus on what's happening and what's in progress. We can move it back, or we can click on these eyes to only show certain statuses. Now, the best part about this is a great way to see where the status of the project is, but if we want to see what people are currently working on, we've also included a timeline where you can copy and paste all of the different Jira cards that you have up here down into this timeline and adjust them so that everyone can see what days people are working on what. So we can see that the risk assessment here is in progress, and if we go up here to Morgan to the risk assessment, we can also see that it is in progress. And if we were to change this to done, it also changes to done down here. And that's huge. Think of all the time your team's going to be able to save by being able to see the status super easy here. Now, all of this is about being able to report on the status of projects to keep the work moving forward. And if you wanted to make this any more customizable, you can. You can click on a dynamic table, select a tab, and then change the color. So if we wanted block to be red, in progress to be yellow, and then done to be green. Now we've just added another visual cue to make it easier to see where the status of everyone's work is. And we could do something similar along here with the different days. We've already indicated this with the days that we're not working on a Saturday and Sunday here. So that's the stand-up section. Next, we need to move and talk about our reflection section. Now, reflections are one of my favorite parts of any Agile framework, and in my opinion, they're also the most important. Reflections provide a space for the team to come together and look back at the work that's been accomplished, learn from it, and then be able to apply that into upcoming increments. So in Lucid, what this might look like is this start, stop, continue template that we've provided here, where under the start section, we could get the team together, come over here, zoom in, open up the timer, and set a timer for 10 minutes or so. Then we'll click start, and now the team can come together and begin reflecting on the work that was completed during that increment. With a little bit of movie magic, it should look something like this. Now you can see our team came in, added sticky notes for each of these different sections, and now we're able to come together and have a discussion about the things that we liked, the things that we didn't like, and the things that will help propel our work moving forward into the future. For anything that's not covered in these different categories, we have our parking lot where the team can put together any other questions or any other ideas into a free space. Now, a lot of teams also love having a variety of reflections. And luckily, Lucid provides us with a lot of different templates of reflections that we can use. So to add a different one on here, we could navigate over to the template library, select Agile Development, and then scroll down through the categories until we find one that we like. One of the ones my team really enjoys is this speedboat. So to add this one, we'll just navigate down here, click Insert, find a space we want to put it, and drop it in. And now we've got a creative reflection that we can go through to help us identify some of those needs for our projects or for our tasks that we've been working on. Now, the best part about all of this is in order to see the big picture, we've included all of these frames together. So when you're performing your reflection, you can view all of the information that was brought in during your incremental planning and also during the stand-up. So it makes it easy to remember and reflect on all of the different things that happened. Now, the best part is at the end of our iteration, if we wanted to archive this so we can reference it into the future, we can do that. We'll just navigate over to the breakout boards, create a new breakout board, title it of the dates of our iteration, and then press Command or Control A to select everything on our canvas, and then click the Copy To button, copy to breakout board, and to the date that we've selected. This way, within our main iteration board, we can go back and we can look at all of the different iterations that we've done previously. And if we click back, it'll move us back to our main board, where we can go in and create new dynamic tables and all of this different stuff to clear it out to prepare it for the next iteration. So now that we know how to report on our work and apply data and insights into our work through our stand-ups and our reflections, it's important that we're able to report on that work as well to our stakeholders. So let's show you how you can do that. We're going to navigate back to our team space, and the first board that you'll want to update is the projects board. This will show stakeholders all the different projects that you're working on and the status of each of those projects. You'll just want to create a Lucid Card or import a Lucid Card from Jira in here so that you can update the status and move it to the different areas of the dynamic table. Now, another section that's been really important for our stakeholders is this weekly update section. And here you're able to provide, inside this Lucid Card, different updates on the projects that you're working on. So we have sections for updating providing an executive summary, putting in any blockers or input needed, as well as some additional details like the progress the project's making, any recent decisions and learnings that have been made, and what the next steps are going to be. Inside this dynamic table, we also have areas for what the team's focus was on, who's owning the different projects, and then a spot for the stakeholder to drag and drop sticky notes in and be able to incorporate some different feedback. So once again, with a little bit of movie magic, that might look something like this, where we can see the team was focused on login page, the password reset. We've got our project login, project security integration. We've provided information for our stakeholders. We're showing who's owning those different projects, and then the stakeholder can come in here and put in any feedback or questions for us. And as we receive feedback or answer these questions and apply them to our iteration cycles, we can go in here and change the color to something else to indicate that we've looked at it, or use an emoji to also do the same thing. And just like that, you've created ways to identify and address problems, gather data and insights, and then act on them, and create feedback loops for continuous improvement. And each of these things keeps the customer, the team, and your stakeholders at the center of your work, ensuring that you're always focused on delivering real value quickly. Now you're ready to take this team space and our team boards and customize them to your own needs. Follow the task list to help you do this, and we'll wish you best of luck as you take the next quiz.